In a small Texas town, a winter night lay unnaturally still. The streets were empty, the shops long closed, and only the dim street lamps flickered occasionally in the cold wind. Inside an old wooden house on the edge of town, Sarah sat alone in her living room with a book in her hands. Her husband was working the night shift, leaving her to spend the evening by herself. Around 11 o'clock, a knock broke the silence. Knock, knock, knock. Sarah's head jerked up, her brow furrowing. Who could be visiting at this hour? Cautiously, she rose and tiptoed to the front door, pressing her eye against the peephole. 2 children stood outside, a boy of about 10 and a younger girl, perhaps 8. Their clothes were simple, worn, almost as if from another time. Their heads were bowed, faces hidden in shadow. Sarah opened the door just a crack, enough to speak through. "What are you doing here? It's so late." The boy lifted his head, revealing a thin smile. We need to use the phone. Can we come in?" His voice was flat, strangely devoid of feeling. Sarah hesitated. Something about them unsettled her, though she couldn't explain why. Then she saw their eyes. Her breath caught. They were completely black. No whites, no pupils, nothing, just endless pools of darkness. She stumbled back a step, heart pounding. I can call someone for you. Just give me your parents' number." The girl shook her head slowly, her small voice soft but cutting. "We have to come inside. We can't call from out here. Please, let us in." The air seemed to drop several degrees, as though her house had been swallowed by fog. Sarah's instinct screamed at her to shut the door, but curiosity anchored her in place. "Why do you need to come in?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. The boy spoke again, his tone sharper this time. "We can't come in unless you invite us." The word struck her like a blade. Invite them? Why would children say something like that? Her skin prickled with dread. She turned quickly, grabbing her phone from the table. When she returned, the children were standing closer, far closer than before, as if the door had opened wider on its own. With shaking hands, Sarah dialed the police. But before she could press the phone to her ear, a whisper slithered into her mind, echoing from behind her skull, though she knew it came from the children. "You cannot refuse us forever," she gasped, nearly dropping the phone. In a panic, she slammed the door shut and locked it. She backed away, trembling, when the knocking resumed, harder this time. Knock, knock, knock. "Let us in! Let us in!" The words repeated in perfect unison, emotionless, relentless, until her legs went weak. The lamps in her house flickered, then died, plunging the rooms into darkness. Sarah clutched herself tightly, her breaths ragged. Through the window she could still see them, faint outlines against the night, unmoving, waiting. She raised her phone to use as a flashlight, but the screen sputtered, then went completely black. The battery had been full minutes earlier. Now it was as if something had drained it dry. From outside came the sound of tiny footsteps circling the house. Tap, tap, tap. Light, playful almost, but never moving away. Summoning courage, Sarah crept to the window. Only the girl remained visible, standing in the yard, staring directly at her with those bottomless black eyes. Her lips moved, but no sound carried through the glass. Then Sarah noticed something else. In the far corner near the fence stood another figure, taller, thin, half hidden in shadow. She couldn't make out its face, but its presence pressed on her chest, suffocating. "Let us in, or he will come himself." The boy's voice sounded in her ear, though the door was still locked, though he was still outside. Sarah bolted upstairs, locking herself in her bedroom. She slid beneath the bed, clutching her mouth to stifle sobs. From the crack beneath the door, she saw light shift, the shadow of something standing in the hallway. Knock, knock, knock. Now the knocking came from her bedroom door. Slowly, the doorknob rattled, twisting, though she knew she had locked it tight. "Let us in, Sarah." Her tears spilled freely. They knew her name. The knocking grew louder, shaking the frame, then stopped abruptly. Silence pressed in, heavy and absolute. Minutes crawled by. Finally, Sarah dared to crawl out. She cracked open the door. The hall was empty. With trembling steps, she descended to the living room. The front door yawned wide open, swinging in the wind. She was certain she had locked it. Cold night air filled the room, carrying with it a metallic tang, like the scent of blood. Sarah slammed it shut, fumbling with the lock, then turned to the window. The children were still there. This time, they didn't knock. They simply stared, thin smiles curling on their pale faces. Slowly, they stepped back into the darkness until they were gone. When the lights finally returned, Sarah dialed the police with trembling fingers. Officers arrived within minutes, but of course, there was nothing to find. No children, no footprints, no sign of a forced entry. Her neighbors listened quietly as she recounted the ordeal. An old man shook his head gravely. "You're lucky," he said. "They only came once. Some people aren't so fortunate. If you had let them in, you wouldn't be here to tell us." Weeks later, reports surfaced from a neighboring town. A truck driver claimed he'd seen two children on the roadside late at night, asking for a ride. He nearly stopped until he saw their eyes, black, endless. Terrified, he sped away. But hours later, when he stopped at a gas station, there they were again, the same children, standing beneath the streetlight, smiling. He quit night driving after that. To this day, stories of the black-eyed children persist. They appear on doorsteps, at deserted bus stops, or wandering lonely highways, always with the same plea, "Let us in." No one knows what they truly are. Some claim they are alien hybrids disguised as children. Others say they are restless spirits. Still others whisper that they are demons, seeking permission to enter the human world. But one thing is constant. If you ever hear a soft knock at your door on a quiet night, and you find two children standing there with eyes black as pitch, do not invite them in. Because once they cross your threshold, you will never walk out again.